Okay, so here are the rails, and here is our show.
Completely off. Completely gone today. What in the world? Derailed.
Yay, you're here. Welcome to the CK and GK podcast. Let's get going.
It's Tuesday. Welcome back.
We're so glad you're here. It's been a little while since you and I have recorded, so this is going to be good for us, for you and me, and for all of our listeners.
Yes, I know you've missed us.
I'm sure you have. I have no doubt in my mind. Today we are revisiting self-care in what Jenny calls her Friday Five. This is a little ritual that Jenny and I do every week, and it's been really good for both of us. And we're looking forward to sharing it with you, and hopefully you can incorporate it into your own little situation that you got going on with your self-care routine.
Right. And we'll talk a little bit more about it towards the end, but it's a short little routine.
Mm-hmm.
And so this episode is also going to be a short little episode. It's a crimson. All right. Well, I'm Jenny, and with me is Caitlin, who looks like a ribeye, but comforts like meatloaf.
Oh, that's cute. Thank you.
I chose it because it's like grilling season, and we had steak last night, so it was like on my mind.
Smart. I like it. Well, you're just a sweetly genius hottie. That's my co-host Jenny over there, guys. I know. You really are. Okay.
I look so great. I have this like slept on hair with lots and lots of dry shampoo in it. It's pretty great.
That's called texture and roll with
right.
it. It works.
Yes.
It works.
All right. Well, should we catch up?
We should. Let's do it.
Okay. Let's sit on the carpet. It's crisscross applesauce. Come join me for story time. Let's have a circle. The first thing I need to tell you is what I'm newly obsessed with.
Let's hear it.
And unfortunately, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to recreate this moment in time.
Uh-oh.
We went to H Mart. And for those of you who are not familiar with H Mart, it is a Korean grocery chain, but it's like a superstore. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And as part of the store, they also have like a little food court area with lots of different vendors and a stage.
Oh.
And the performer on the stage the day that we went to H Mart was a trombone player who was playing Disney hits karaoke style. He had the background recorded playing on a speaker with him, and then he's playing the melody on his trombone.
Oh, stop it.
It was amazing. It was
I
so
don't even
great.
have words.
I was like, why is there not more trombone Disney karaoke at H Mart?
I don't even have words. Like, I don't even know what to say. I'm stuttering over my own thoughts. Like, I don't even.
Oh, I sat there for like 20 minutes and watched.
Yeah, I would just be fascinated. Part of your world. Like,
he did it.
Oh, no, wait.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, to each their own, right?
Right.
What you do on your own time, as long as it works for you. Speaking of what I did on my own time, my anniversary happens to also be my son's birthday, which you know, and I believe the way that my husband describes it is my son hijacked our anniversary. It's not ideal, right, to have the two things be on the same day. However, it does make for a really cool story, and I do like that, like, you know, our family feels complete, and they all kind of come together in one day, and that's pretty special. I have been vehemently opposed to matching tattoos for my entire life.
Okay.
However, my husband and I decided to go get matching tattoos.
I'm super against it, but I did it.
But I did it. And I don't know why I was like, no, this one is okay. Like because I think the reason that I was opposed to it is because so many of them are like super cheesy, right? It's like somebody does like one half of it's like a best friend necklace when you were 13, right? Like somebody does the one half of the heart and the other person does the other half. And it's like, those are fine. There's nothing wrong with them, but it just doesn't feel like me or my husband. I mean, you know my husband. It
Right.
definitely doesn't feel like him. to do
He's
that.
not campy at all.
Not even the like slightest bit. Like no.
Wait, a serious attorney? Can't be.
Oh my God, no. So weird, right? Like what? We talked about like a finger tattoo because like you know how Dak Shepard has the bell on his finger for Kristen Bell, and that's who he's married to. Have you heard of that?
That's cute. That's really cute.
It's cute. Like we talked about something like that, but the finger, like one on the outside, it has like, it's not the most appealing to a lot of people, right? Like there's that, but also if you put on the inside, it wears off.
It lasts
really
like
fast.
2 weeks.
Yeah, it wears. My sister has one on the inside, and it wears off like immediately. So it's like, okay, no, not so much. So we played around with it, and I have forearm tattoos, and so does my husband. So we talked about possibly a forearm tattoo, and then we settled on getting our anniversary and Sam's birthday date done on our forearms, and we did it in Roman numerals.
So cool.
A couple of weeks ago. This is it now.
Nice. She's showing it to the camera.
Yeah,
it's very straight.
It is very straight. I went to a really good guy.
Yeah.
But it says 616 in Roman numerals. And thankfully, my husband is smarter than me because I was like, well, I was just going to do a 6 and then a 1 and then a 6. And he was like, but that's not the same thing as 616. And I was like, oh. Oh my gosh, I felt so dumb. So, but it got fixed, and then I went to this guy, and he was super nice, and I think he was a little bit like opposed to what we were doing in the first place. But then, we talked a lot, and it was just a really good. It was a really good experience. He was again super kind, and he's going through a lot of things right now, which he opened up about, and it was just like it was an overall good experience. But I think what I like about this tattoo the most is one, it's way more bold than my other ones that are like my other ones are pretty subtle. This one's super bold, and it's a matching tattoo, but Bryce and I each got fonts that we liked, so like it's the same.
Oh,
but
that's cool.
Right, but neither one of us, like his font is different from my font, and they look really similar because they're Roman numerals and they're going to, but like we customized it, we made it our own, and we put it in a spot. Like his is on a different arm than mine is.
See?
Like it was an overall good experience. I'm glad to have it, but I am definitely obsessed with it. But I have to also tell you that this leads to my gem of the week. Are you ready for this? Okay. So when I got this done, Bryce and I had different artists. Okay. And Bryce's artist had a different healing process than mine did. And mine put on second skin on top of it.
Okay, what is that?
It's basically what they put on burn victims. It's like a clear, like plastic sheet. And then you just leave it there for 3 days. And he's like, it's going to look gross, I promise. He's like, there's going to be bubbles. It's going to look smudged. It's going to look really nasty underneath it for like 3 days. But after 3 days, it'll start to peel, and you'll just like peel it off, and it'll look great underneath. And it does, right?
Yeah. Oh, no, it looks super great.
Bryce's guy didn't have that. So we were healing differently and all of that. And it's a clear plastic sheet. It's like having saran wrap on your skin, but that it doesn't come off in the shower or anything like that.
Okay.
And if you've had a tattoo before, like they wrap it a lot of the times, like right away, you know what I mean? But this is like the wrap that you just don't take it off. So that night I'm in the shower, and I was putting on my in-shower body self-tanner, and I did not think about this, but I smeared it all over my arm, all over the plastic sheet. So
I didn't absorb.
So I had this like self-tanner line that was like a rectangle on my arm of like just this. So then when I peeled, so a couple days later when I peeled off the plastic sheet, there was a total like rectangle on my skin of like where my self-tanner didn't go in. I felt so stupid, and I was just like, oh man, like what? I didn't even think about it because I was just, you can't even feel it. It's just there on your skin, and you're just, you know what I mean? You don't think about the second skin at all.
They should have like cut it into the shape of a Playboy bunny or a heart or something.
Yes, reliving my Y2K tanning dreams.
Right, right.
Yeah, so that was me being a winner.
That is hilarious. My gem is Abby and I went roller skating.
Oh, I love
at
roller
the rink.
skating.
It was so great. But I was sweating buckets.
Yeah.
Just like everywhere. Sweat, sweat, sweat. I feel it rolling down my back. It's on my face. Like I'm using my shirt to like mop my forehead.
Oh my gosh.
And John comes to pick us up at the end of the hour and a half that we were skating. And I said, man, it is so hot. And he goes, you are so out of shape.
Oh, ew.
And I was like, yeah, you're right. I'm totally out of shape.
Ew. He loses 500 points.
No, it was funny. It was really funny. It was not meant to be derogatory or
No, I
unkind,
know,
but it
but-
was like, dude, like it's really not that hot in here. You've just been
When
doing
was the last time
aerobics
he
for
went
an hour.
Well, fine. When was the last time he went roller skating? Do you know, like...
Oh, he
when
doesn't
I-
skate. He can't do it. And it's so
See?
funny because he calls himself the natural athlete. Like he's always like, oh, put me in any sports situation. I can figure it out. I have
Oh,
great
my
body
husband
control.
too.
And like he is very, very athletic. But he cannot figure out skating ice or roller. Like he just can't do it.
See, my husband will do that stuff too. My husband is convinced that if you give him like 2 practice sessions, he could probably make it onto the Olympic curling team. Convinced. Like, I'm not even kidding. He's like, no, I'll do it. It's fine. And Austin has a curling team.
Sweeping is good practice for that.
Right?
Maybe
Also
he could-
vacuuming and taking out garbage and sweeping up boxes. So no, he's convinced that he could just do it like immediately, and I'm like, okay. But skating, I hadn't skated when the last time I did it was over spring break, like just with Sam. I took him in March, and I hadn't done it in so long, and it is like riding a bike. It does come back to, but it is hard. Like I didn't remember being.
It's hard work.
I didn't feel like I was that like balance challenged when I was a kid, but definitely as I've gotten older, it has become very obvious to me that I'm a lot clumsier than I ever thought I was, and it was hard. Like I remember being like, when you're sitting in a chair as a kid, or you with your students and they lean back in their chair, and all of a sudden they like panic and they have
Right.
and I always used to ask the kids, did you see death for a second? And they're like, yeah, I saw death. But that happens when you're on skates,
Right.
where you're like, whoa.
At one point I did that and Abby said, man, that looks like a new dance move.
Perfect. Yes, that's exactly what it is. That is exactly what that is. Oh my gosh. So you had fun then? You guys had fun roller skating? Okay.
Yeah. Abby and I have skated together for a very long time. Like since she could walk, really. I have my own skates, but I just hadn't done it in probably a year.
Are they inline or are they the traditional like
Oh,
4-wheel?
they're traditional. They're like white boots with pink laces and pink wheels.
That's exactly what I would have expected your skates to look like, by the way. I'm picturing them in my head and I knew
Right.
that's what they were going to be.
If you could just like think of what a kid would draw if she was drawing roller skates, that's what I have.
Right. This is like Barbie movie style
Yes.
skates. Yes. Got it.
Okay, so I said that today was a Crimsash, and it's a short little episode.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to talk about self-care again.
Okay.
Episode 7 in season 1 was all about self-care as like the most misunderstood topic, right? And we talked about this like stereotypical candlelit bath and like, oh, you're just going to go get a mani-pedi. Like nobody has time or money for that all the time.
Also, real quick, I hate to interrupt you. Episode 7?
7.
Oh my gosh. It was like, it was 70 episodes-ish ago.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, just kidding. I feel, I'm good. I'm having a moment. All right.
Right. Yeah.
Time flies, guys.
I had to keep scrolling
flies.
and scrolling
Yeah,
and
yeah.
scrolling. And I was like, oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
gosh, it's number 7. Yeah.
Yeah. So we talked about how no one has time for that because self-care, when people view it as an indulgence, they
Right.
don't make time for it. But if you turn it into a habit, that's actual self-care. It's true self-care. You're actually going to take the moments that you need to replenish and rejuvenate yourself in ways that help you. Okay.
Right.
I'm here
Right.
with it. I got it.
So when you and I taught together, I was just feeling really lonely. My classroom was all the way at the end of the hall. And so like even in passing periods, I didn't really have a chance to talk to anyone. And so I said, you know what? One day a week, I am not going to use my lunch to work. I am going to connect with my colleagues. And so I started this Faculty Friday lunch and I sent out a weekly funny invite. I made a themed playlist, and like all of that preparation, the writing of the email, the curation of the list, like all of that stuff was also self-care. And then we would have teachers rotate to make sure that the teachers who had lunch duty also got to come. And that, to me, just that community really made for self-care. The other thing was, because I had sent out an invite earlier in the day, there was no going back, right?
No,
it wasn't like, okay, guys, sorry, I really do need to grade these papers. No, all of it can wait. It was the end of the week. I said, I need this. I need this half hour a week to really connect.
Yeah.
And so this spring, I was kind of feeling the same way. I was a little overwhelmed, and I feel like I just needed to focus on some reasonable self-care, because not everybody has time for a 45-minute shower where you can sit on the floor and cry.
Oh, yeah. Those
Which
were
I've
good
done.
showers. Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Like probably within the past month.
Right.
Like it's a thing. Yeah. It's a vibe. It's like sitting in the car, finishing a really good song after you've pulled into your driveway.
Yes.
It's that.
Yes.
It's a vibe. Just sit on the floor and cry in the shower. It feels really good. Promise. I swear I'm not depressed.
No. I like, it just, sometimes you need it.
Right.
So anyhow, I texted you and I said, I need some accountability. So Friday 5 was born.
Yep.
This is every Friday at 5 o'clock. I have an alarm to go off on my phone to say, text Caitlin about the Friday 5. So I don't even have to remember it. My phone tells me.
I didn't realize you had it set up like that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
wondered why you were so consistent. Well done.
So,
well done.
And so I think about what I'm going to do for 5 minutes for myself at 5 o'clock on Friday. And then I ask Caitlin, what's your Friday 5? What are you doing? And I am telling y'all, we have had some of the funniest conversations about this. Even just the text thread is a form of self-care for me.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But we have had things like, oh, well, I'm just going to have a little drink. That's a normal Friday, 5 o'clock. Like, oh, yeah, I made myself a fancy cocktail. I'm going to enjoy it. A couple weeks ago, mine was I'm locking myself in my bedroom for 5 minutes and no one can come in. Yeah. Caitlin has texted me, I am eating Pringles right out of the can. And I just imagined her like hiding the can and like not letting anyone else eat the Pringles.
I think I was out in the open. I think I had the can like in front of my face like this, and I was just like taking out fistfuls of Pringles, and I know that I was eating them more than one at a time. Like I was just
Can you eat Pringles one at a time? You have to do that duck bill. That's at least 2.
Right, but it was like the stack was
okay.
I didn't do the duck bill, and I just took a stack and I just shoved it into my whole face. And then I think that at one point Sam was like, "Can I have one?" And I was like, "No."
No. Sorry. When I'm done, you can. I won't finish the whole can. But right now, this is just me and my Pringles.
This is me and my Pringles.
And that's it. The whole point of this Friday 5 is it's 5 minutes, not about the thing that you do, but about focusing on yourself, calling it self-care, and being present in the moment.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, listeners, find an accountability buddy. Maybe it's your SO, maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a family member, but think about what you could do for 5 minutes a week or a day or maybe an hour if you need it.
Right. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you need that for sure.
But be present.
Right.
Think about the moment that you're in and enjoy whatever you're doing for that 5 minutes for yourself.
Right. And I think that naming it piece is super important because you probably won't recognize it as your form of self-care unless you start to call it that. And that's, again, that habit forming piece. So make sure that you're saying, like, this is my Friday 5. This is my Pringles time. And this is how I'm going to take care of myself today. And then just eat your Pringles out of the can. And don't share them.
Don't share them. You can share them later.
Right.
I'd be impressed if you could eat a whole can of Pringles in 5 minutes.
Not 5 minutes. I could do it in a day. I'm sure.
Oh, I could do it in
an hour. Down.
I could do it in a movie. Let's be real.
Oh yeah, they go down so easy. Oh my gosh. My tongue would be so raw with all the salt though. Never mind. This is not the point. All I'm saying is remember to make it, to incorporate it, to be a habit, to make it be a thing that you call out. It's not self-care if it's an indulgence, right? It's self-care if it's something that you do regularly to take care of yourself.
Right.
So,
and I truly believe it's a mindset. It does not have to, it doesn't matter what the task is.
Right. Completely agree.
Lock yourself in your bedroom. Do what you got to do.
It feels good. Feels good.
All right. So that's 20 minutes. Make good choices.
And enjoy those Pringles. They're tasty. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Hey friends, thanks for listening to the CK and GK podcast. Find us at CK and GK podcast on Instagram and Twitter, and rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, or anywhere else that you pod. See you next time.